Welcome to Furniture Industry News, your go-to source for staying up to date on what's happening in our industry. I'm your host, bringing you the latest developments on this Wednesday, August 6th, 2025. Let's start with some major tariff news that's shaking up the industry. President Trump just announced new tariffs on imports from India that will bring their total rate to 50%. This new 25% tariff gets added on top of existing duties and takes effect on August 27th. The White House says this is all about India buying Russian oil and military equipment, calling it a national security threat. For furniture companies, this means any goods coming from India are about to get a lot more expensive. Only Brazil faces similar tariff levels right now. The administration left the door open to reverse these tariffs if India changes its behavior, but for now, anyone importing furniture or components from India needs to plan for these higher costs. Speaking of tariffs, if you've been following the market circuit this summer, you've probably heard about what industry folks are calling tariff fatigue. The Las Vegas market just wrapped up, and it really drove home how real these price increases have become. Gone are the days when tariff impacts were just theoretical, retailers placing orders for fall goods, and even first quarter 2026 are dealing with actual surcharges ranging from 4.5 to 15%. Most vendors are calling these surcharges instead of straight price increases, hoping they can roll them back if tariffs ease up. But here's the reality check. There's no pre-tariff inventory left in stock anywhere. The big companies bought up everything they could before the higher tariffs kicked in earlier this year. What's really challenging for suppliers isn't just the higher costs, it's getting goods at all. The shutdown of factories in China and other parts of Asia when the first round of tariffs hit as high as 145% created a gap in merchandise coming into the U.S., right when companies needed to place orders for the crucial fourth quarter. Some retailers are saying they often find out the real price only after products have already landed in U.S. ports, and these surcharges are cutting into profits. But here's an interesting development. All these tariffs are creating real opportunities for domestic wood furniture manufacturers. Companies like Vaughan Bassett are seeing significant increases in both traffic and orders. Doug Bassett reported a 50% jump in traffic at the April High Point market compared to October, with many of those visitors being new accounts looking for alternatives to imports. The company saw a 10% increase in business in July compared to last year, and over one-half of that surge came from new product introductions. The numbers make sense when you look at what's happening with Vietnam, which is the largest foreign producer of wooden bedroom furniture. With tariffs now set at 20% on Vietnamese imports, plus increases in container and freight costs, imported furniture prices are climbing substantially. This is opening doors for domestic manufacturers who don't face these additional costs and risks. Maven's David Wallace described seeing record sales in June, with business staying strong through July when things typically slow down. Even companies like Simply Amish are getting calls from retailers saying they want to boost their American-made product lines. The question now is whether these domestic manufacturers can scale up to meet increased demand. Most are being cautious. Vaughan Bassett says they'd add hours first, then workers as demand warrants. Maven is looking to increase their plant headcount by about 5%, but they're being selective about hiring quality workers who fit their culture. Now, shifting to some broader retail industry news that affects our sector, job cuts across retail are way up this year. A new study shows retail employers announced over 80,000 job cuts through July, which is a 249% increase from the same period last year. The report specifically mentions that retailers are being impacted by tariffs, inflation, and economic uncertainty. Store closures led to over 120,000 layoffs so far this year, while restructuring efforts resulted in nearly 67,000 job cuts. Interestingly, technology updates including AI implementation have led to over 20,000 job cuts, showing how automation is reshaping the retail landscape. On a different note, there's been some movement in the media side of our industry. Bridgetower Media, which owns Furniture Today, just acquired Grace Media, the company behind the International Window Coverings Expo and Window Fashion Vision magazine. Grace McNamara built that business over nearly 40 years, starting when she bought Window Fashion magazine in 1986 and then launching the Expo in 1997. The Expo now welcomes over 8,000 companies and brings in thousands of new attendees every year. Her daughter, Ania Munzer, will stay on to lead operations after the acquisition. This shows how B2B media companies are consolidating to better serve specialized industry segments. Looking at all these developments together, it's clear we're in a period of significant change. Tariffs are reshaping supply chains and creating both challenges and opportunities. Domestic manufacturers who can deliver quality products efficiently are finding new growth, while importers are dealing with higher costs and supply chain complexity. The retail job cuts reflect broader economic pressures, but they also show how technology and changing consumer habits are forcing companies to adapt. For furniture industry professionals, the key takeaway is that flexibility and planning are more important than ever. Whether you're sourcing products, managing inventory, or serving customers, understanding these market forces and having backup plans will be crucial for success in this environment. That wraps up today's episode of Furniture Industry News. If you found this helpful for staying on top of industry developments, please subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss future episodes. We'll keep bringing you the news and analysis you need to navigate this changing market.